There was a push from the region to work with Trump to get a ceasefire in place. But the 20-point plan that the president brought forward was a recipe for avoiding hard questions and for leaving in place plenty of destructive potential. And that is what has happened. Including the idea that under these circumstances, one could impose a disarmament on a resistance movement, Hamas, that was not defeated in the battlefield. So for Israel, it constantly says, Hamas hasn't disarmed, therefore we don't have to do any of these other things. Palestinians are squeezed into a tiny area of the territory. Even after the war, the living conditions are nothing short of inhumane and appalling. Israel is able to continue this. It has the US imprimatur. Parties who know this is going badly are reticent, are reluctant to rock the boat because they know that as bad as the situation is, there's one thing that could be worse, which is a return to the full-on hundreds of killed a day mass starvation that we had. One looks back and compares it to 20 years ago, that are perhaps more disturbing because one sees how much more international law, a UN-centered, UN charter approach to even how we conduct war, to how we go about functioning in this world, how much further that has been decentered, especially when it applies to West Asia, especially when it applies to the Palestinians, to the extent to which you now have such an aggressive campaign against the institutions of international law, against the International Court of Justice, against the UN Charter itself. You have had during this time an Israeli ambassador to the United Nations stand on the podium at the UN itself. This is a country that is still a member of the United Nations. And so it has become a badge of pride in Israel to stand against international law. And so it begins with reasserting the idea that you are accountable for your actions. If you act in a criminal fashion, there will be costs. There will not be impunity. If you can't get the diplomatic accountability conversation going, then the region is going to end up revolving around balances of military power and the deployment of that power, which will only lead to more human suffering.